This is Questing Time. I'm your Dungeon Master, Paul Foxcroft, and you're at episode 14, part 2. The players are falling through the infinite void of the elemental plane of air inside a big Wendy house that they've magically created. What a ludicrous sentence. If you're starting with this episode, literally don't. Go back and watch some earlier stuff. There's too much for me to explain here. I'm not even going to try. One really quick thing. I'm recording this in April of 2021. And a lot of the adverts that we're getting on these videos are for candidates in the upcoming London mayoral election. I'm not voting for Brian Rose, and I'm not voting for Lawrence Fox, both of whom I think are arseholes. I'll link in the description to a channel run by a bloke called Coffeezilla, who has spent quite a lot of his year debunking Brian Rose's boasts about himself. It's very well worth having a look at if you, like me, suspect Brian Rose is some kind of lizard. I'm fairly confident that saying he's a lizard makes it clear that this is outlandish, humorous nonsense and not like a personal attack on him, so he can't sue me. And if it didn't, then that sentence just did. Satire.
So, as last we said, were you taking a short rest effectively? I don't think anyone's used any spell.
We're doing
right.
perky.
But you are you are now tumbling through the infinite void in a Wendy house, which has been individually decorated inside to suit the personalities and tastes of each of its 4 occupants.
Sounds like a Johnny Cash song.
Yep. You, as a result, miss some stuff.
Can I, just while we're still tumbling, can I please do an Arcana check on the skull that I got?
You certainly can.
Thanks.
What did you get? Oh, what a noise.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
There is. I just want to talk about a thing that's come up in the chat briefly. Rogue Michael has said, if you're just joining us, maybe you're Jeffrey Wright, which is a callback to the time that when we were doing a live show and the film actor Jeffrey Wright wandered in and heckled me for a bit. We had a nice conversation about his outfit, but at shouting volume, and then he left. In what was ultimately a very positive experience for everybody, but deeply surreal. And it's such
are the terms of the Jeffrey Wright's curse he is under.
Yeah, but it's my fond hope that one day in the chat, Jeffrey Wright will pop in and then be weirded out by the show and then leave.
In the chat, it asks
we need to find 2 guys called John Wrong.
Who will combine in moments of crisis.
I rolled it. It bounced out of my dice tray, and I thought, oh, I better re-roll that. Then re-rolled it, and it was terrible. And I thought, no, I should take the first one. And I thought, no, that's not fair. You can't just pick and choose. So then I rolled it a 3rd time. But ultimately, I suppose I should just go with the first one, right? Because that's actually what I rolled.
I would go with the second one, which went out. The second, okay, cool, fair enough. I would think if it rolls out of the dice tray, I wouldn't count it.
Oh, you wouldn't?
Not if it was if it fell out of the dice tray, I wouldn't go with it.
Well, that's what happened. That's why I re-rolled it, and then the second one was so shit that I was like, "Oh no, I better re-roll that." And then
you don't get to re-roll it because it's bad.
Yeah, the second one was a 5. Mine is 4.
Lovely stuff. So yeah, this skull, you're turning it over in your hands, and it's mostly a metal you're not familiar with that is bizarrely hard wearing. You're testing it, you're scraping a dagger across it, and it's not making any. It's not chipping it or anything. And there's bits of again, it's wood, but wood that you're not familiar with. But that's not weird because your dwarven heritage speaks more to your knowledge of metal and stone than it does to wood. But this thing is weird, and I say skull, it's got stuff in it. It's not hollow, but it just seems to be little. I don't know what the right word is, mechanisms. It's sort of almost like it's the head of a sort of animatronic puppet.
Yeah, I'm with you. Like a sort of magic robot head.
Yeah, for want of better terminology.
Made of strong metal and wooden bits, and there's clearly stuff that it does that I don't know.
Yeah.
Are there any slots or holes or ports on it or anything?
There's two eyes.
Yeah.
Which have crystals sunk into them and mechanical irises, but they're part closed. And
it's so this isn't just an object, as in a sculpture that somebody's knocked up. This is a proper thing. crystallized wooden bits, metal skull. It's proper malarkey.
Yeah. It doesn't have a jaw or anything like that. There's no kind of like jaw armature. It's just got like a faceplate, like Optimus Prime, I guess. Like a metal plate there on its face.
I love how you describe that all the time using your own face when there's a skull right next to you.
Can I say this? That this skull is closer.
That is true.
Okay, fair.
Paul,
Covered in all meat.
Is there anything that any of us recognise about that skull?
No.
No. Okay, fine.
No, it seems very new to each of you.
Anything of interest go by the windows?
Make a perception check, please, Matt.
Ooh, not great. Plus, 11.
No, I'm afraid you don't clock anything. Although it is now raining heavily outside.
Ooh.
Which is weird because it's not raining in a consistent direction.
We must be getting close to the water spout.
Oh, yeah. We should check the marble.
Yep, the marble's stable. Its direction is coherent. You're still travelling in that direction. It's weird because the house is tumbling over itself slowly, but you're travelling in the same direction. So it's like it is a little bit odd to look at, but it's coherent. I'll give it that.
Do we have any idea of how much longer we're going to be falling for?
No, the marble is not. It doesn't give you an indication of time, but it's been, at this point, given that you've all sat down and effectively had a nice meal, you've been falling for something like 8 hours now.
Yeah.
I'm busy elaspo-yoricking with the skull that's the spout.
Fair.
Is
anyone else looking around outside?
Well, that's what I was going to say is, having eaten a bit bored, Ruff basically turns to the group and says, anyone want to do a bit more flaying?
Yeah, I'm up for a bit more flying. I also want to see, like, if it's raining and we're near the water spout, we might be landing soon, so we might need to focus in the other direction.
Okay, so are we going to get outside of the house, or are we going to...
I open the door and look outside.
Lovely stuff. It's now light rain outside. It's not torrential or anything. But you look outside, you can see, as you get outside, the house is falling towards an object. It's a little far away to see, but it looks like if you're not going to hit it, you're going to pass by it very closely. And as you're looking at it, it seems like what's the word I'm looking for? It looks like it's part of a tree, but like a massive tree. So if you imagine the middle bit of the if there was an incalculably large tree, this is the midsection of the trunk. So there's branches and greenery, but it looks like it's been smashed. Like the break at the top and the bottom end is not clean. Like the bottom end of the tree looks like it's been split by something. The top end of the tree has some charring, but the tree itself is a good like 60, 70 foot radius. Like it's a really big tree. And as you get closer, you can see there's like carvings in that. There's space like holes, windows carved in the side of the tree, and what looks like there might have been some kind of mechanism, like a structure that could have led to like maybe wooden steps, but a lot of them have fallen away or been broken. You can see patches of the tree are charred, bits of it. There's clearly like a blood stain at some points.
Anything attached to it that we might want to pillage?
Make a perception check.
It's a 3.
I got a 5. I'm not helping.
No, nothing you can see, but it's like you can't really see into the windows. Although as you're spinning through the air and the tree is spinning through the air, you can see there's a couple of doors.
Could we get into the tree? There's nothing it's going to impact with. Could we try the door?
Yeah.
Are you?
I adjust my perception of down.
So here's my thing is what I want to know is like in relation to what's happening. The house, actually, Briony, because you're driving the house. Can you make
outside? Haven't we?
You are, but there's. If you're outside, are you ending the house, or is it looks like?
Yeah,
the house
can I end the house?
Yeah, you can just turn the house off.
Okay, I can turn the house off. I'm going to turn the house off.
I'm still in the house. I'm doing some filing.
At which point the house disappears from around you, as do the files. It was all a dream.
Hardcore realizes, not for the first time, he's wasted a good amount of time on paperwork.
So, hang on a second. Oh, I've lost the page I was looking at. Oh no! Oh, hubris. There we are.
Did it disappear with the files, Paul?
It did. It did. So that you who's heading to the tree, or is anybody else doing something else?
I'm obviously going to the tree. I'm going to try and get to a door.
Sure. You adjust your sense. You adjust your sense of down, and the group is sort of stood on the side of the tree. And what you can see is the tree is worn, and it looks like as you walk around the outside of the tree, you can see evidence of there's been a huge fight here. Something terrible has happened. There's bloodstains. There's like axe chunks of the side of the tree are missing. Like axes are missing. Axe chunks are missing from the side of the tree. Not axes are missing from the tree. You can see there's a spiral of stairs that once existed here. Like bits of them remain. There is a doorway next to yours, and the door is not quite closed. It's ajar. And you can see that on the surface of the door, somebody has cut into it jaggedly with some kind of horrible knife. Do as you please. Run like Craig. You've got it. And there is a horrific, there's a massive old dry bloodstain spreading out of the of that doorway. Like terrible things happened in there. Can you all make perception checks, please?
Yeah. For a second, also, I forget Briony isn't actually a tree, and I go, I hope you're okay, Miss Claire.
I don't know why he said that, but I go, oh, thanks, Phillin. It has been an upsetting morning, but I'm okay.
I'm glad. These things can be hard. I got 13.
Cool. Briony?
Perception, 8.
Yes. Richard?
Natural 1.
Hooray! And Rufus?
19.
Whoa,
19. Lovely.
Goodness.
Lovely stuff. Matt and Rufus, you can hear movement from inside this room. There is something in there moving around, and you peek in. You're not entering the room, I should point out. You just peek through the door. You cannot see anything, but you get the impression of movement. And the only way I'm going to describe it is you see a shimmer in the air, a la the Predator.
Oh.
Does it look like when Rosenstein and Gildenkrantz apparated or disapparated?
Not dissimilar, but this is consistent. There is something moving around in there that is causing sort of light to bend around it, sort of, or it's a distortion.
There's a cloaking element to it.
Yeah, well, it's a distortion in space, but it's moving around in this.
Does it look like an object, or do we get a sense that it's a figure?
It has a vague humanoid shape, very vague humanoid shape. It's hard to pick out the edges, but it's and you reckon it's about 10 foot tall.
I knock on the door. Anybody home?
Hang on for a second. Brian here, you don't get any of that. Richard, you become convinced that somebody in that room needs your help.
Okay.
You've seen the bloodstain, and even though it's very what's the word? Incredibly old dried blood, you become convinced somebody in that room needs assistance right now from somebody who knows what the law is.
Okay. Stand back, everybody. I've got this. And I head towards the door.
Just as I was about
just as Phillin knocks on it. So
Can I try and kick it down?
You can, but it's beneath you, so it's like because you're walking. The doors. Here's the door.
Yeah.
And you walk up to it like that. So from your perspective, because you're walking on the side of the tree.
Yeah. Okay.
So you stamp on the door to open it and like step like David Byrne in a music video.
Yeah.
Into the room, shouting.
Shouting. Hello, hello, hello. What's all this then?
It's a weirdly good Richard Ayoade doing that voice. Sorry, let me just open a document up. And in that room, you can see it looks like a bedroom that's been trashed. There were books here. There was loads of things here. There were toys and a lot of what's the word I'm looking for? Trinkets, tchotchkes, if you will, that have been smashed. Areas of the room are drenched in blood that has long since dried. And something in the center of the space, which you can't pinpoint with your eyes, is like stops moving, and you don't really see it so much as get a sensation that something stopped. In here, a wind picks up, and Rufus, your axe of warning goes apeshit. And if we could all roll initiative, that would just be a treat.
Oh no!
Ooh. I got 17.
Give me one moment. Sorry, I need to grab a post-it note so I can keep my page in my notebook, but also write down combat stuff. Because what I haven't done is I haven't set this up like a chump. I didn't set this up in D&D Beyond properly, so I'll be running this with pens rather than using their combat tracker. Yeah, pens.
Old school.
Yeah, classic D&D with pets. Pew. All right, Matt, you've got a
17.
Richard.
I got 7, which is 10 less than 17.
Correct. Rufus.
Can I use my inspiration to re-roll?
Not to re-roll, but don't forget you get advantage on initiative checks.
Yeah. 1.
Re-roll
Did you roll a double 1?
Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
You cut out a bit there. I'm having some connection issues. You're saying, don't forget I have on
Advantage.
Well, not massively better, to be perfectly honest, but 8.
It could be worse. And Briony?
19.
Ooh. Okay, so for the first round, because Matt, you're at the doorway, you can join in. Rufus, because you're aware of a threat, I'll let you act. Briony, the first round, I'm going to skip you because you don't know he's in trouble yet.
No.
Which I hope that doesn't seem unfair.
No, because I didn't get perception checks. I have no idea what's going on. That seems very fair, Paul.
At which point, Richard.
Yes.
Let me just roll the initiative for this lad. Holy Moses. Cool. On initiative 20. Richard, what is your armor class, please?
It's 19.
Great. So, first things first. Can you make a strength saving throw, please?
With pleasure. 14.
14. Good news. You have passed, so you're only going to take half damage. As you are picked up by powerful winds and thrown further into the room and slammed down on the wreck of a bed and a desk, which smashes beneath you, splintering wildly. Please take 12 damage.
This doesn't make much difference to the end result, but did you say by wings or by wind?
Wind.
Wind, okay.
Yes. And you take 12 damage, and you are... Oh, and... an extra 6 damage because you were thrown 20 feet.
Let's not forget, I'm resistant to cold damage.
None of this is cold.
Okay.
It's bludgeoning damage from impact, so I'm so sorry.
No, it's just in my experience, winds are cold.
That's fair, but this isn't It's not the wind that's doing the damage to you, it's the colliding with object that is doing the damage. Which are, if anything, warm. They're lukewarm.
Damn it.
You get absolutely slammed into a wall, but the problem is it's a bit chilly.
Yeah. And then this thing is going to move towards you, and what it happens is it's going to enter your space and envelop you. And you make a Constitution save, please, Richard.
Not very good with personal space.
I know that when I tried to hold your hand.
Not now, Claire. 8.
8. Great! The air is forced from your lungs, and you begin to suffocate.
Oh, God.
We'll talk more about what happens there on the next turns. Meanwhile, on initiative, Briony, I'm skipping you, but on initiative 17, Matt, what you see the Reverend just get, the wind picks up in that space, you see the Reverend just fly across the room into a wall, smashing a bed, and then he stands up and then sort of hovers off the ground and is like, gasping for breath.
Oh,
and you can see this weird shimmer around him.
So it's formless, so I can't. Oh, I'm gonna shout, "Hey, Windy! You get off my friend!"
What a great time for a honk that was. Thank you, 1, 2, 3, success for your great timing.
And then I'm trying to think what I can do.
What about could I do this? What about the wand? Can you track
I was thinking that, but if it's around him, and it would entangle him, it would surely get him too. Oh,
this is really hard.
Yeah. Can I try suggestion?
Sorry. Mr. Jeffrey Wright is now following. I don't for a second think that's the real Jeffrey Wright.
Can I try suggestion with "Get off my friend, Windy"? Because I've got it as a 2nd level spell.
You can. You can try it.
Okay. Well, I'm rolling high. So 19. Does it work?
You don't have to roll. It does, but it doesn't respond. I'm not. It doesn't respond to your command.
Dang.
Sorry.
I tried, Rich. I really tried.
I tried, and then Phillin just leaves.
Yeah. Well, see you later.
Next up is Rufus.
Yeah. I've been full honesty to the stream. I've basically been unable to hear anything for the last half hour. But I've been frantically trying to make it work. And now what I've done is make my phone a Bluetooth hotspot, put that out of that window on a roof, and then basically it now seems to be working. I have literally no idea who I'm fighting, where I am, or what order we're in, and I'm so sorry.
That's fine. I would love Briony to summarise what's happened.
There's a shimmery predator-like monster. It's attacked. It's made of wind or something. It's gone inside Jack and is stopping him from breathing. And that's where it is right now. We can't see it and we can't really hurt it because it's inside Jack somehow. It's in the same space as him.
And it's not open to suggestion.
No.
And where are we? We're in
We're in a tree. We're in a big old burnt out tree with a lot of old blood in it, and this creature, and your axe has gone mad, which says it's a bad creature.
Okay, and are we still in the plane of air?
Yes.
Yeah.
But we're in a room.
Yeah.
You're in a room inside a tree.
Okay, what I want to do is basically, there's a door, I assume, that got us into this room. Is it open or closed?
Open.
It's open, and you're not currently. So you and Briony are currently stood on the side of the tree outside. Phillin is like peeking into the door, and Jack is in the room being thrown around by some force.
Thank you. So we actually don't know that he's in trouble. But I did see some shimmery thing.
We do know.
You saw the shimmery thing, and as he stepped into the room, your axe went Your axe was like, danger, danger.
Okay.
Advantage.
The way you move.
Yeah.
Here's what I want to do. I'm imagining that the rules remain consistent in the plane of air. So I want to jump into the room, imagining that behind Hardcore is down.
Sure.
Grab Hardcore, and then imagine that the door is down. So essentially, I kind of bounce into the room, grab it, and then immediately just like whistle out. And I want to see whether or not whatever's inside Hardcore stays inside him, or whether it is just that they're taking up two aspects of the same physical plane.
Sure. Okay, cool. So you run along the tree trunk, dive into the door, go to grab Hardcore, but you wind up grabbing a larger thing that is around him. So you've grabbed a form which is cold to the touch, and it's like, how do I put it? It's coherent air.
Okay, lovely. I'm going to suggest that the years of alcoholism have taken
it takes spike damage.
Yeah.
But
I want to imagine all the years of alcoholism have slightly dulled. Like that's so not necessarily expected. That even though I'm trying to grab Hardcore and there's other things in the way, I still grab it, and I'm still halfway through imagining that the door is down. So maybe I grab this thing and start trying to hoy out the door with it. But like I just think if you go in to grab someone and then fly straight back out, if you get something else, you still are. Your momentum is still doing that thing.
Yes. Can you make a wisdom check against this thing?
I can. I'd rather not, though, if that's all right, having seen what I've rolled.
What did you roll?
13.
I'm afraid it doesn't budge. It has a stronger sense of gravity. It has a stronger sense of your collective down than it does. Than you do, sorry. And what happens is, your down becomes the same as its. So your feet touch the floor.
Brilliant.
Because the evidence in front of you is that this thing is...
Yeah. It's a moment that exists whilst at the same time can't.
Yes.
And the ramifications of that are weird.
That they are. Richard, can I ask what your Constitution modifier is, please?
You may, and I will respond thusly. 2.
Cool. Okay, cool. According to the rules, you can hold your breath for 2 minutes, assuming you're prepared for it.
How long through a combat is 2 minutes?
Like a lot, like 20 turns.
Okay.
This thing, I should point out, this thing isn't just stopping you from breathing. This is forcing air out of your lungs.
Right.
So I'm going to ask you to make, on your turn, I'm going to ask you to make a strength check to try and break out of this thing's grip.
Yeah, sure.
Athletic. You can make an athletics roll, rather.
Okay, cool. So, pointless. That was 6.
Okay, cool. I'm afraid you remain stuck in. Gamma 2 does is correct. Suffocation rules are weird.
Do I not get a go at him at all or anything?
You can. You just can't move out of it, so you're going to still suffer from being choked by this thing. But you can act. You just can't move. You're suspended in midair inside this thing.
Okay.
And you can't breathe it. But you can act, which is weird.
Okay. So, what I would like to do is call upon my spirit. Excuse me, sorry. I sneezed at a terrible time. I'd like to call upon my spirit guardians.
So you're casting a spell?
Yeah.
Lovely stuff. I need to check, though. So your spirit guardians requires you to make noise. You can't cast that spell. I'm afraid it has a vocal component. I am not going to let you cast spirit guardians. Sorry,
you prick. Okay, fine. Do I get to try a different spell?
You can do a different spell, but you can't. You can't vocalize currently. So.
It does. Sorry, I'm really sorry to. I'm sorry for the stream to see this behind the scenes bullshit. But does V, S on components stand for vocal?
The component. Hang on. The component elements are V for vocal, S for somatic, so gestural, and M for material, meaning you need an ingredient.
All right.
Briony.
Can I give him bardic inspiration to remember one of the potions he has can make him change his size and shape?
That takes a full 10 minutes to apply.
Oh, damn it! I need to
All right.
Do you know, Paul, as you smiled during that, I thought, God, he's so proud that we're really getting the hang of this. You were just smiling. You're about to
yeah, Rich, anything else? What would you like to do with your turn? Or would you like to hold
Every single one of these spells is a V in it. I can't speak. Can't do it. Oh, I can do... No, I can't. That's entirely vocal. Can I just hit him with my shield?
Yes.
I'll do that.
Okay. Make an attack roll, please. You can have advantage because you're inside the thing you're attacking.
Very good, because that was terrible. That's worse. That's a natural one, and then the previous one was 5.
What is wrong with your dice?
Okay, cool. As you are choking for air, clutching at your throat with your right hand, you throw your shield at nothing, and it just bounces around the room for a while.
Cool.
And then returns to your wrist, having even though it's passed through the thing you're trying to hit with it, it's done it in such a way, at such an angle, that it's done absolutely nothing.
Right. Even though I'm being choked, I roll my eyes.
Next up, Briony on initiative 19.
Okay, so I'm hoping it can still hear, even though it's an air creature, and I can do dissonant whispers on it. I'm also wondering, because you said it's a free action, the healing word. Can I put some extra...
bonus action.
A bonus action.
You can't, because here's the thing, you can't cast 2 spells on the same turn.
Okay.
You could cast, if it was a bonus action spell, you could cast that and a cantrip.
Oh, can we see...
Not a full spell.
Can we see the creature?
You can make it out clear enough to what's the word? Do the to attack it? Yes.
To attack it, then I'm going to go with dissonant whispers because I think if I could just get it off him, that's going to make him breathe quicker than me trying to heal him while he's being choked. So yeah, dissonant whispers, please. Let's do 2nd level. I think I've got that at. Have I got it at 3rd? Oh, I've got it at 3rd.
You can't
I'm going to try that. I'm going to whisper sweet hatred at it.
Lovely stuff. So yeah, you dissonant whispers. It needs to make a saving throw, right?
Yes.
What is that saving throw?
15.
Shit. What kind of saving throw is it?
Wisdom.
Wisdom. Oh, this is not its forte. It has not made that saving throw. So what happens?
I get 5d6 damage.
Fucking hell!
I know, 3rd level.
What kind of damage is it?
5d6.
I think it's psychic.
Hold on, I need to click on that thing. Oops! Did it do it for me? 22. It did it for me! I love the sheet!
Did you just click on the damage effect in D&D Beyond and it's roll the dice for you?
Yes! And I didn't have to roll or add. I love the sheet.
That's D&D Beyond, the thing that I'm assuming will get sponsored by at some point because they seem to really like it.
We really think it's great.
Yeah,
22 damage.
22 damage. And what is it? Psychic damage.
It says.
Hover the mouse over the little picture next to the dice. Damage.
Oh, then sorry. I didn't have to get back to that bit.
Fair enough. I mean, it is psychic damage. So, and this thing is not in. This thing has no resistance to psychic damage.
Psychic.
So it takes. How many damage was that? 22.
22.
Oh shit! You have angered the fuck out of this thing. But also, isn't it now afraid of you?
Yeah, I believe it has to flee from me. Racking it with terrible pain. Move as far as its speed allows away from you.
Great, Richard. You get to make an athletics check to get out of the thing, as it's really not paying attention on killing you for a second.
Well, also, can I walk closer to Jack? Because then it has to back away.
Yeah.
That's what I do then.
Cool.
Can I point out I'm still holding on to this thing? So wherever it goes, I'm going with.
Yeah. Richard, make an athletics check.
Jesus Christ. 10.
It just runs away, still killing you.
Oh my god!
And all the time, it's dragging a dwarf who's tearing up the floor with his spiked armor.
Do we get? Does anyone get to make an opportunity attack?
Yeah, screw it, you do.
Thought so. Jesus Christ! I don't know what you've got, Rich, but it's catching.
Concentration.
5.
5. I'm afraid that's a. Well, you don't even manage to attack it. You're holding onto it with one hand, and you're trying to reach back to grab one of your weapons.
Yeah.
And you grab the heft of one of your weapons and bring it forth, and just smash the empty sap bottle on the floor. You're like, oh, why did I put that in my backpack? And so next up on initiative, it's now the things go, which it's going to continue to choke Richard, but that we resolve that on your turn. It can't get closer to anyone, but Rufus is conveniently adjacent to it. So it's going to attack you twice, but it is now at disadvantage because it's freaking out. So Rufus,
Yeah.
you get to... what's your armor class, please?
I'm just going to check. I think it's 14. 15 now, because I'm up a level. Yeah, 15.
15, lovely stuff. Disadvantage. Oh, okay, one of those attacks hits, and the other one... 14, that's annoying. So it hits you once, and it's like it's like being hit with a sledgehammer.
Right.
It's horrible. It just smashes down on the centre of your back as you're being dragged around the room. It's done like that. And you become aware that like this thing doesn't really have a front in a conventional sense.
Yes.
Like it's too...
It's a cloud of fighting.
But like not a true cloud.
Yeah.
It's like really angry air. Jesus Christ. You're not raging either.
I'm not yet, no.
Oh no, sorry. Then this is going to fucking sting. Okay, and this is one attack. Plus 2. 21 damage.
Yikes.
As the floor beneath you splinters up.
Oh.
I'll tell you what, Paul.
Welcome to level 5. It's not all cakes.
I'll tell you what, Paul. That don't half make me cross.
Bonus
You
action
can
to raise.
Is it my go?
It is. No, sorry, it's Matt's go.
Oh.
I should point out, so while that happens, next to you, Rufus,
Yeah.
there's like a bit of a writing desk, and that just smashes into a billion splinters because it has 2 attacks a turn, but it didn't roll as well because it is freaking out. Briony, I strongly suspect there by making it be afraid, has saved at least one person from being outright killed. Matt, your turn. Sorry, Briony, what were you saying?
Well, I'm still walking towards it, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
But the room is only so big, so it's basically backed against a wall. Matt.
I have very few spells that can cause damage that won't be collateral, so I'm going to go for blindness, deafness at level 2. See if I could take its senses. Yeah.
Which of its senses do you want to take?
I'm going to say eyes. So yeah, blind it.
Okay, you're going to take away its ability to see. I'm interested to look at the wording of this spell. You don't need to roll. It resists the effect.
Okay.
So it makes a Constitution saving throw and tries to beat a 14. Constitution is quite good. Still, a 7 won't do it. And so it now cannot see.
Yes.
Yeah, it cannot see. So great work. It's now rolling disadvantage for everything, effectively.
Also, I want to know what For Heaven's Sake said in the chat. That is also my question, which I was very aware of. Do I have meta magic?
You do.
To do what? I can't see the chat anymore, but it was a good question.
You do have meta magic. You can spend your sorcery points to adapt your spells.
Okay.
Also, give me a second. You just cast a spell map. I just rolled a thing, and a wild magic surge occurs.
What's happened?
Let's find out as we consult the big chart of random shit. As you command the forces of chaos to do weird shit in the world by blinding a thing, the forces of chaos answer back with...
It's okay, for heaven's sake. I was going to do a lot worse on my own.
Oh, shit! Oh, Jesus Christ! Can everybody make dexterity saves, please?
Oh, shit.
What's happened?
Oh.
Phillin
blanks has happened. That's what's happened.
+3.
Sentence going.
15 with my +3.
Cool.
Uh-oh.
I'm 16.
+5. 12.
Okay.
I'm just double checking. Do I get advantage on dex saving throws? I think I do.
You do in this case because of your axe. Your axe momentarily just goes duck, 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 duck. Not that it's like conscious. You just get this kind of emotive sense from it.
Yeah. All right. Well, it's 13.
Cool. This thing doesn't get to save because it can't see. Good news is actually, do you know what? This only affects. This affects 3. Matt.
Mm-hmm.
This doesn't affect you. I misread the wording. This doesn't affect you. I want you to pick one of the other players to be safe.
To be safe? Then I'm going to say Ruff because he took a big hit.
Okay, good.
Sure.
I'm being literally choked by the guy, but fine. Okay.
Yeah, but I think you're into it.
Okay, so sorry, Briony, Rufus, you're fine. Richard, what did you get in your dex save?
It was 15.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Cool. And Briony, you got a...
12.
Oh, no. Oh, my God!
Sorry.
Alright, I've hurt you all so many times.
I will never forgive you.
He's got a habit with that.
Richard,
Yeah.
you take 18 lightning damage as huge, like, just there's a moment of, like, Big Trouble in Little China sparks come off Phillin. He hovers in the air for a second, and then just arcs of lightning slam out. One hits you, Richard. Was it 18, I just said?
18, yeah.
Because you took half damage. One slams into the creature, which is resistant to lightning damage. Briony, you take 37 lightning damage.
Whoa!
And
Ow.
yeah.
Thank goodness for those temporary hit points.
Yep.
Are you still conscious, Brian?
I'm still conscious.
Oh,
Hang on a second.
You know, when we all leveled up, and I was
Yeah.
like, wow, that's so many more hit points. We'll be fine now.
also, remember when I chose the spell that didn't do collateral damage?
Yeah.
The great news is that this thing has done. This has also done extra damage to this beast, whatever it is. And now, it is the Rough Knight's turn, who's just seen this happen.
Yeah. Now, here's the thing.
Yeah.
Here's the thing I'm trying to work out. If this thing is made of air, can it be hit, or is it just going to squirm around? And actually, would I be better trying to save? I think at the point I jumped in to grab Hardcore and rake him out, and now I'm holding onto something I can't see, and it's slightly shimmery, and I'm being thrown around.
Yeah.
Hardcore's still getting choked, isn't he?
Yes.
Right.
I'm not even going to make you make a perception check. You, as you're holding onto this thing, you can see like what to call it? Like almost like slightly shimmery rainwater pouring out of this thing periodically.
Okay.
And a voice in your head goes, "If it bleeds, we can kill it." And then I get inspiration for a sweet reference. But either plan plays.
Yes, but I think if there is some sense I've got that this thing is being wounded, that's very different from trying to literally fight the air.
Yeah.
One is I've got to try and get rich out of there. Sorry, hardcore out of there. The other is I'm just going to hit it till it dies. So I will rage. I now get 2 attacks because I'm level 5.
As you declare, I will rage. Just in your mind, you just hear the riff from Know Your Enemy.
Just remind me of how that goes, Paul.
Honk, 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 honk.
Shit, Paul joined in a honk. Insane.
Oh, he's got Stockholm syndrome.
What day is it?
I always think of the intro to the Rage as being more like the guitar riffs in "Fuck You, I Won't Do What You Tell Me" by Rage Against the Machine. That it's a series of increasingly close up on the eyes. Gang, gang, gang. Gang, gang, gang. Gang, gang, gang. Anyway,
I like to think we've been adventuring long enough now that Phillin recognises that look, but in his head, when he looks at you, it's just like ding, 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 ding. It's like really peaceful folk music.
Yeah, like almost like the Homer imagining the monkey at the circus.
yeah.
So
anyway, I rage, and with my axe and with my extra attacks, I am just going to go fucking balls to the wall and kill this thing.
Cool. I just want to point out that imagine this cinematically, that we see Rufus kind of go, and then what we do is we jump cut to the perspective of the Reverend Hardcore, who is choking, and then just sees the Rough Knight go, and just starts swinging at him. And he tries to kill the creature that is currently surrounding him.
Yeah,
terrifying. In fact, Richard, make a wisdom saving throw to not poop yourself.
You're like where it was a hand in the film. You're like Hudson in Alien when Bishop's doing the knife thing, but it's an entire body with an axe.
Yeah. Richard?
Despite my history of shitting myself, I've actually got a 21 there, so I'm really confident.
That's the only good roll you've had tonight.
Rich, just because
it improves morale. You know,
Paul,
Richard,
because
what happens is a poop returns.
I was going to say, can he poop and choose it to go to the... My poop's gravity is face, and it goes to the thing.
I'm afraid there is mercifully no poop. Rufus, please make those sweet attack rolls.
Here we go, mofo. Didn't go in the dice tray, did it? Oh, Jesus Lord. Come on, here we go. 18 plus 3 is 21.
That's a hit.
And the damage... do you want me to do both rolls for...
Both attacks, and then we'll move on to damage.
First. That's 17.
That's 2 hits.
Lovely.
Sorry, in my mind, I keep doing this thing where I portmanteau words together, like, thanks, ants. Ants.
Thanks.
And I was like, that's two hits.
Tits. Okay, here we go. Now, just give me 1 second, because I've just got to refresh. Do I get re-rolls on damage?
You do. You have the feat Savage Attacker, which allows you to re-roll your damage dice if you would like for each attack. But then, I think you can choose between the first and the second roll. And you're adding, you're raging, so I think you're adding 5 to these damage rolls instead of 3.
Okay, that's 7 and 3. So 7 plus 5 is 12. 3 plus 5 is 8. That makes a grand total of 20.
Lovely stuff.
However, I'm also clutching onto this thing wearing my spiked armor. So in addition to that, it takes an additional 3 spike damage.
Cool.
So 23 all told.
Lovely stuff. You get a sensation that, like, as you swing your axe, you feel it resistance as you go through the creature. But you feel like, how do I put it? It doesn't have the texture that you would want. Like, it isn't a satisfying murder feel. You get the sensation like you're hitting this a bit, but not as much as you could be under other circumstances.
Right.
Oh shit, no, the axe is magical. The hammer doesn't count as it for that purposes. So actually, the hammer, you don't feel the resistance through, but the axe is magical, so it does do full damage. Thanks, the chat. Who was that?
Just a big
Galaxy
shout
Delta.
to Delta.
Lovely stuff. So then it is Richard's turn. Richard, would you make another Constitution saving throw, please, as things start to go dark?
Oh no, God.
Okay, I can roll a 21 to not shit myself, but to not further die, I roll a 4.
Great. Okay, and by the way, I'm using because as we've discussed, the suffocation rules are weird in D&D 5th edition, so I'm using a homebrew set I've just found.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. Richard, what would you like to do? As your vision is narrowing.
Yeah, I'm still in the cold. I'm unable to speak. Yeah.
Yeah.
Are we holding to the idea that even though I've just nearly murdered this thing, it doesn't loosen its grip at all?
In the sense that it's Richard can make you can try and use your move action to try and get out of it, and it's an opposed roll, and it's now rolling at disadvantage for lots of reasons.
Yeah, well, I'll do that. I'll try and wriggle free.
Cool.
What do I do? Just roll.
It's an athletics check opposed by this thing's athletics.
Ace. That is 19 plus 6, or 25.
25. Oh, okay, cool. So what happens is, perhaps inspired by the terrifying spectacle of the rough knight going apeshit, beast moding on this thing, you flex around inside it, and you can sort of feel it resisting you, but you are breaking its resistance. And it's up against the wall. You just shift 90 degrees and kick as hard as you can off the back wall through this thing, and fire yourself out over the rough knight.
Nice, that looks cool in my head.
Superhero landing on the far side of it and just being like, you may now attack.
Oh, great.
If you are inclined.
Yeah, well, I feel like that superhero landing immediately means I get my breath together and I fling my shield at him straight away.
Great. Make an attack roll, please. You can have advantage because I think this should look rad.
Yeah.
Also, you've got to say something with your
Yeah. It's alright, I'm doing the classic hardcore thing of thinking of what the thing is.
So here's it. Superhero landing, you stand up and the camera just pans around you in like 360 degrees while you are clearly trying to word a quip.
The camera actually keeps catching his face, which is like...
There's some stuff in the chat if you want it. Crowdsource it.
That's pretty. This is all really good. It's really good chat work, but it's kind of too good for hardcore.
Use it. It's there.
All right. He looked like the camera having gone around his face. The cameraman getting a bit like tired of going around his face.
The camera does its third orbit.
He goes.
You get a sense that the cameraman now has one hand on the wall, steadying himself from being dizzy.
The voice of a director in the back of your head goes, "Whenever you're ready."
He eventually goes, "I could do this all day." Fling!
Great. At which point, Richard, you get 7 hit points back.
I've rolled a 16 as well, Paul.
Right. So, you just go, I can do this all day, and as you stand up, you throw the shield directly away from you, and it slams into the wall opposite, at which point you duck as the shield rebounds over your head and slams into the creature. Please roll your damage. And your I can do this all day gives you 7 hit points back.
Yeah. Nailed it. Got that. 5 damage. Only 5 damage.
Plus your strength.
Oh, sorry. 8.
And are you adding? And it's +1 because it's a magical item in this case. So that's 9 damage.
9. Anything else I could add, Paul?
You can add loads of stuff, but I won't allow it.
Oh, okay.
Cool. The shield slams into this thing and then bounces back towards you the way it came, and you catch it with one hand. Just on the back, you literally kind of just like you reach back, slide the shield onto your wrist, and then turn around and square off against this thing, and then like do that. The guy from Mission Impossible who like charges his arms up.
Henry Cavill, yeah.
Henry Cavill, like like ready to fight. And then it is Briony's turn.
It's still scared of me, I reckon, so I'm going to step between
It
Jack
is.
and it. because I don't want it going back to choking land.
So
I'm
you're
gonna
saying
try.
anything saying anything while you do this?
I'm gonna do Dissonant Whispers again because it worked pretty well in Hurting It because it doesn't like Wisdom.
Cool. At what level?
The level 2 because I've used my level 3 already because I made a hut on the
Yes. So it's a wisdom. Is it a wisdom or constitution save for resistance?
It's Wisdom 15 and it's 4d6.
Shitting hell. Yep, 4d6 damage, please. Please roll it.
I'm just doing it on the machine. I got 14.
14. Christ. This thing, it's like... You know, imagine the sound of haunted wind in like a horror movie. Like this thing is howling and writhing around, and it's like, Donald Sutherland, last scene of Body Snatchers.
Yeah.
It's like slamming its weird fists into the wall, and it's splintering everywhere. Dust's going all over the place. This thing is flailing around in like horror. Rufus, you can have an opportunity attack 'cause it's trying to move past you, but it's not. I'm
going to keep walking towards it, Paul, because it's freaking it out, and I like doing that.
My opportunity attack is 17.
That's a hit. I'm presuming this is with your axe. I always assume that's your main weapon.
It is my main weapon, yeah.
Cool. Roll your damage, please.
9.
9 damage. Cool. It takes all. Okay, cool. It takes all of that, and spins around. At which point, does that recharge? It does. Right, Briony, Richard, and Matt, and Rufus. Can everybody make dexterity saving throws, please? I tell a lie. I mean strength. I mean strength saving throws.
Bloody third 20 of the night. This dice. I'll send it you, Rich.
I'm literally the opposite of you today.
Did you get 1 again?
No, I got like a 4, but
I got 11.
Did you say this is a strength check?
I did.
Lovely.
Yeah, you'll be fine.
Yeah, I'm 21.
Yeah. And which case, so Matt, the wind picks up again, and there's like a little concentrated tornado inside this room. Matt, so Phillin and Ruff just steel themselves again. Actually, Phillin steels himself against it. Ruff is just like, "Ah!" and like just like screaming at the storm. Briony and Richard, however, are picked up and flung at the walls nearest them. And so take Briony.
Yeah.
Oh, this could have been better. You take 10, 16.
Yeah, I've only got
16 damage.
That's me, I'm conscious. I have 16.
As you're thrown into a wall. Really?
Yeah, because that's mainly because of
I'm
Phillin.
so sorry. And Richard, you take. Well, that's 10. 24 damage.
I am also unconscious.
I've got no potions. How about you, Ruff?
They're both the healers. And then it is Matt's turn. As this brief storm dies down.
How far is Ruff from this thing currently?
Right next to it.
Okay, yeah.
Shut up. Alright, fine. Do you know what, Rich? You do, and I'm going to roll to see if it breaks when you hit the wall now.
Oh!
I know. I know what's happened.
Yeah.
Matt, what would you like to do?
I think to myself, Mr. Hardcastle is down, and get to Jack as quick as I can, yeah, and I'm going to go for his potion. It's like just an original thought I had myself, so don't worry about it.
You roll him over onto his front and see, sure enough, the healing potion has smashed when it's hit the wall because you were table-topping like cheats.
I'm going to scoop it up and put it in his mouth.
Scoop it up and put it in all the shards of glass.
Can't get much worse.
I'll say this, Richard, you can stabilise but you do not. You don't come back to consciousness.
Okay,
This is not enough healing potion to heal you.
I'm sorry.
Okay, and I assume that's my move as well, isn't it?
It's your move, but and actually your action to rummage through a bag, pull the shards of glass out of a thing, and then squeeze what I assume is a soft toy in his backpack.
Of course, I'd make sound because you're thinking ahead. Okay.
Yep. Rufus, it's your turn.
I having in my rage and with all of that happening, suddenly my eyes glow a sort of weird yellow colour. No one knows why. And I say, it's not even like it's really happening. It's just like something overtakes me. I don't know what it is. And I'm sort of looking at this thing and I'm imagining that towards its down, axe up, as I say, blow winds and crack your cheeks, rage blow you cataracts and hurricanos, spout till you have drenched our steeples, drown the cocks, you sulphurous and thought-excavating fires, vaunt couriers to oak-cleaving thunderbolts, singe my ginger head, and thou all-shaking thunder smite flat the thick rotundity of the world, crack nature's moulds, and German spill at once, that make ingrateful dwarf. And then I attack it.
Oh, we stopped mid-fight. Wow, does that count as a cliffhanger? Or just me editing badly? You decide. It's the latter. Anyway, we'll be back real quick with the next episode, so you don't have to wait too long. Thank you so much for watching. Please like, subscribe, and tell people about these videos. Thank you for watching to the end. It really helps us out. And that's us. We're out. We'll be back soon. We'll see you then. Bye-bye.